Good morning, happy Friday, and welcome back to the NOFO Live podcast, where I, Sunita, along with my co-host Tracy, we hop on every Friday and talk about all things North Fork. So much going on. I think the weather is dampening a little bit of the plans because it rained yesterday and it's raining this morning. But the weekend is shaping up to be beautiful weather, so hopefully you'll get a chance to go do all the things that the North Fork has to offer. Couple of programming notes. The Greenport Farmers Market, which is usually on Fridays from 2 to 5:30, I believe is canceled today because they're not sure about the weather and the winds. And speaking of winds, if you were around here last Friday, you would have noticed there was like an insane storm that blew through, and I had just come back from being at the farmers market, so I was really wondering how because the farmers market is at Mitchell Park in the open, so I was wondering how everybody did with the tents. So I think given the weather this afternoon, the market is canceled today, but hopefully they'll be back next Friday. First Fridays is on for tonight in Mattituck, which is the first Friday of every month. They close down Love Lane and all the restaurants, and I think they have vendors. It's a really, really fun community event. So if you haven't been, I would highly recommend that tonight. Obviously, another fun activity to do this weekend is the School of Rock is playing at the North Fork Community Theater, also in Mattituck. And I believe this might be the last weekend for that show. So definitely go check that out. I'll add ticket links. They're so reasonable, and it is so wonderful to be able to go locally and be able to catch something so close to the home. I think, I've been to a few plays there, and it's always a fun time. Okay, Instagram is acting weird again. First of all, I don't see Tracy. So I hope she's not taking a vacation break and forgetting that we had the show. And I keep trying to accept Mattituck Mushroom, but they don't seem, well, they're not joining, so I don't know what is going on. Let me see nope, it says Mattituck Mushrooms is unable to join. So if you're watching, Agathe or Anthony, the best thing to do is power off your phone and return it back on and then try to rejoin again because I don't know what is going on. But in the meantime, just want to mention our guest today is Mattituck Mushrooms. And I think we met them a couple of times before, and we had done a panel moderated a panel at RGNY on sustainable food and growing. And it's just so wonderful to get to know your farmers and see what they grow, and of course, celebrate the work that it takes to do. But specifically about Mattituck mushrooms, they just grow so many varieties of mushroom. I mean, forget about the white button mushrooms, that we see in the grocery store, or even I don't want to say basic, but the portobellos, the baby bellas or whatever. But they just have such interesting. Good morning, Tracy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I don't. Instagram is doing its thing today. I
Oh
can't seem
no.
to connect the two of them. I mean, I
Oh
can see
no.
Anthony's trying to join from his account, and I see Mattituck Mushroom trying to join from their account, but
And it's not happening.
no, it's not happening. So I hope they're hearing us when I'm saying to turn off their phone and turn it back on. But in the meantime, I was saying I know you chatted more with Agathe at the
Yeah.
at what is it? Was it a sustainable food panel? What was that? Remind me.
Yes, it was about sustainable food, and it was at the Revive
RGNY. It
conference.
was at RGNY.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But the
Oh,
maybe it
the
was the
Rise
entire
Wellness. It was
conference.
at a Rise Wellness
Rise.
event.
Yeah.
Yes,
Rise
yes, yes,
Wellness. Yes.
yes, yes.
Yes. It was about sustainable, basically farming, right? Because there was a bunch of other farmers and sustainable business on the North Fork.
Yes,
Oh,
and growing and farm. And I was saying, like, I've seen them a few times at the farmers market. They come to the Greenport Farmers Market now, which
okay.
I end up going a lot. But they have so many different types of mushrooms. Like, they're pink mushrooms. I'd never seen pink mushrooms in my life, you know?
Well, I mean, speaking of mushrooms, we went to Eddie's this week and we ordered the mushrooms, and we didn't really discuss it at the table, but I had never seen a mushroom that looked like what we got on our plate. It was like a
I think that was an oyster
flowery,
mushroom. I mean, I've seen, it's not common, but I have seen that. I think that was an oyster mushroom, but I could be wrong. But another one that Mattituck Mushrooms has is called the lion's mane.
yeah.
It literally looks like Charlie's head that she just popped
I,
up.
I think that's what she had at the conference. She had one there that we were looking at. She brought a
Yeah,
whole box, which was really cool. I know the audience really enjoyed that because when we were done with the panel and we went to Q&A, I remember somebody was like, "Can we see the box of mushrooms?"
yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and it's a nice show and tell in the field, right? But I feel like they have so many. Like, I don't even know the names. I really hope they can join again. I keep seeing their requests, but I don't know if they're hearing
Well, and
me at
I
all.
also remember one of the things that Agathe said on the panel, which was more that they didn't really decide which mushrooms to grow. Like the earth and the ground and the soil of Mattituck kind of dictated what they grew there because they really like listened to what the land was telling them it needed.
How interesting, right? I mean, I know, like, like I was saying at the beginning, it's really so nice to get to know your farmer. Like, I mean, I run in and out of Deep Roots often, and usually it's if you've never been, Deep Roots is a sort of help yourself farm stand where it's a little shed. You can go in there and you can pick up whatever. And because they are sort of a help yourself shed, I think they open even later. Like, you can go whenever.
Yes, yeah,
But once in a while, or I will run into Michelle, who is I guess she's Tom's mom, and she restocks and works hard in the field or whatever. But it's really, I feel like when I meet her or see her, I'm like, oh, she grew this zucchini, or she
yeah,
was part of growing this eggplant, or whatever, and it just feels so good. So I think meeting them both, meeting Agatha and Anthony, was just like to see the people that are doing the work behind, especially when it comes to food, is so
yes,
rewarding. I feel like it's so
yes.
great.
Well, and also I think that the mushrooms aren't as prevalent at all the other farm stands, right? So it's not a product that you see at as many.
Yeah, I don't know because it's not like typical farming, right? It's a whole
Right.
other process, which I'm really
What?
hoping
Hello?
that they're able. Oh, there's Anthony.
Hi.
Thank
There
you.
we are.
Good.
Oh,
Hello.
long
Good
time.
morning.
This is crazy.
I mean, I don't know
Uh,
what Instagram does. I feel like we have to either, figure out something that's going on because lately this seems to be happening more,
I know.
where it takes a minute for everybody to join. Good morning. I love that we're out on location.
yeah.
Hi, good
You guys were
morning.
doing a great job.
Oh,
I know
I
you
don't
could do better.
know.
Yeah, that was really
Well,
beautiful.
that was so beautiful. Thank
Mixed
you.
Well,
in with the panic of not connection.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, you
at
got
this
well, you have
point,
to tell us what I remembered correctly and what I said wrong because I know I remembered parts of it, but you have to.
No, you did it perfect. That
you
was
did it
great.
perfect. The
Okay,
way
good.
Yeah, the
the
well,
water, the mushrooms, the varieties on Long Island. That was perfect. Thank
Oh,
you.
good, good.
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
and
we always talk about the water, our spring. Tell
that
him.
Laurel Lake is really, I think that's kind of, well, we'll take some credit, but I think the water and the good preservation here of our area in particular at Laurel Lake is really kind of one of the secret ingredients to the quality of our mushrooms. We're right up against a Laurel Lake Preserve and the kettle hole there, which
Mm.
is, pristine glacial meltwater. And so that is really, something that's contributed incredibly to our to the quality of our mushrooms.
okay,
Um,
let's take a step back. How did
Yeah.
the two of you decide to start growing mushrooms? And is that something you did before and then you just moved it to the North Fork?
No, no, it was complete. We really were. We've been called the accidental farmers for a reason. Like, we are artists to start with. We're sculptors. We moved to the North Fork with our son to be closer to family. My brother had married a woman from Southold, and we moved here in 12 years ago. 7 years ago, my sister got a farm, the license to a mushroom farm in New York City, in Park Slope.
Oh, wow.
And she would bring the spent, so you grow the mushrooms on these blocks of wood, but you have to know what to do with them. So she would bring her spent block here. For about 6 months, we started looking. There was mushrooms growing everywhere. Pandemic comes around, and Anthony can continue.
Yeah, and the pandemic really, it was bittersweet. But as a lot of people fled the city and businesses shifted, unfortunately, Anne, Agat's sister's Brooklyn mushroom farm basically was put out of business by the pandemic. And at the exact same time, we started ramping up, and we kind of realized that there's not only is our property a great place to grow mushrooms, the pristine land, the perfect water, but there started to be a real market and a real growing interest in knowing where your food came from. And the farm to table movement really took off here. And Agat comes from a family of chefs, and we were aware that restaurants, so like some of our current loyal clients, some of we're really proud to have them, like the North Fork Table, Eight Hands was our very first and most steady client. KK's
was the very first farm that sold our mushrooms.
Yeah, KK's, and they were all so supportive. We certainly could not have done it without everything from farming advice to simple business advice to just supporting us by selling our mushrooms and putting us in touch with chefs. It was KK's where we met the North Fork Table and Inn chef, and the chefs really enjoyed visiting the farm and seeing where their food is coming from. And now we're very flattered to have in Greenport, we have the port with Terrence, the chef there. It's fabulous. He has a great dish with our mushrooms. Let's see, Alpena, Ellen's, North Fork Table and Inn. I need to jump back. The Sunset Beach Hotel.
My brother is the chef. Wherever my brother is the chef, we have a lot of
Wow.
mushrooms, obviously. And we grew up like foraging in my family, so it's like very important to have mushrooms on the menu. So he's at Sunset Beach, but he was at 𝗓𝗏 for 16 years before that. His name is Alexandre Apparu. So he's
So Sunset Beach and Shelter Island, just to clarify.
Yeah,
The
that's
Shelter
right.
Island, yes, if you want to be seen and see people. But no,
Yes.
he's the executive chef there. I'm sure it's your guys' regular haunt, but it's fabulous. And please mention us if you go there. Agat's brother, as we said, is the executive chef there. And before that,
Oh, we're definitely going to be dropping names.
Yes.
yeah, exactly. It's that type of place. But he was at 𝗓𝗏 in Southampton, which is also a regular weekly client of ours, and 𝗓𝗏 in Sag Harbor. Where else?
Almonds, Topping Rose.
Almonds, Topping Rose,
Wow.
Armin and Judy,
Yes.
the Sagaponic General Store.
Okay, wait, but before you got to growing, I was going to say growing all these mushrooms, can we get a little bit of education on how mushrooms grow? Meaning, did you start growing one variety? How do you get a second? Is there seed? Are there spores? I don't know what the language is. Tracy, do you know the right question to ask?
Nope.
Okay.
Visually, first it was like little sculptures for me. When I saw the blocks grow, those old blocks, so it was incredible that they were basically thrown away, but they kept coming back. And the blue oyster was the one that kept coming, and it was this giant, meaty blue, deep blue, gray mushroom that I'd never seen before, and it's called the blue oyster, and it grows wild here on birch trees, and so we knew that one would be like an instant in. Then we diversified with other oysters, but basically you want to mimic what happens in nature. So there's the mycelium, which is like the root of the mushroom, right? That's the underground. That's everywhere under the leaf matter. If you lift some leaves, you'll see these white veins everywhere. That's the roots of the mushrooms. Then you have the fruiting body, which is the mushroom itself. And then you have like the seeds, which are the spores that are ejected continuously. There's like, I don't know how many thousands of spores. If you put a flashlight in our growing room at night over, for example, a yellow oyster, you'll see like silver, like a dancing fairy dance. It's all the
Wow.
spores being ejected. And so the spores are flying basically like in the air until they settle down and find the perfect place to settle. The mycelium eventually finds a place. The mycelium is an eating machine. It's continuously eating, and basically when it eats, it decomposes. And then when the mushroom comes out, every like in seasons, they have seasons. So whenever it hits the perfect time of year, the perfect piece of wood, it comes off and then throws its spores and waits around till the next following year or the following month or whenever the season is.
It
So
almost
that's
seems
what
like
we're
it
trying to
has
do.
like a quality of like an animal more than a vegetable, or what we're used to thinking, like in the fact that it's just constantly moving and growing and going all over the place.
And they're very rewarding. They grow super fast. The mycelium stage is like the roots underground, but the flowering stage in this time of year is from start to finish under 2 weeks. So you're not waiting
Whoa!
long. And
Wow!
so,
For all the different kinds, you is about that the range?
So some are a little longer. Like for example, the lion's mane takes, which is we did focus on a few mushrooms. Like we started with the blue oyster, then we moved on to the lion's mane, and then other types of oysters, and then the more complicated ones that the chef did. Shiitakes, which are everywhere, are actually not that easy to grow, and they don't grow naturally on Long Island. So it's not it's not a natural fit. But we grow them on oak, on bigger pieces of oak so that they could grow slower. And then we grow the oysters on very fine wood powder. It's a mix of beech, birch, and oak tree. And that's really fine. So they go through this really fast. And same with the lion's mane, but the lion's mane is a slower grower. It's like it just, grows slow on the top of the trees. And then, its hair comes, that's the third stage is the hair comes down and kind of a shaggy look. But we capture it before the hair gets too long. So and they are definitely more closer to animal than they are to vegetables.
they're their own
Yeah,
category.
they're the third world, the third
And
kind.
and do they grow out open in the field, or do you have dark caves? I mean, do they need light? Do they need dark? Do they need moist? I mean,
They reach out for the light. That's their job. It like they when they come out of the ground and when they come out of our blocks, they're all reaching for the light. But they grow at night. They grow at night, but they reach for the light, and that's where they know where to throw the spores is where the light is, right? So that's how.
fascinating.
Yeah, that's a
So, and
combination.
did you say that you grow them in like a greenhouse, or do they grow out on your property?
We should take a walk and show them.
Yeah.
We would love to take a walk and show you, though I'm afraid the connection will drop. We do it both. One thing we do that's very different, and again, we didn't plan it. Obviously, most of the bigger growers and stuff grow in converted, industrial or garage or shipping container. We grow first. We do a first harvest in a simple purpose built. It's not exactly a hoop house, but yes, it's a greenhouse covered with simple greenhouse plastic, and that's to elevate the CO2 levels. You need temperature, humidity, and CO2. And by covering it, you elevate the CO2. But what we do that other growers definitely don't do is people always ask us, will they grow back? And yes, they will. And we have a second garden outside, which people love to pick from. And we do a second harvest, or people call it sometimes a second flush. So once we get one really perfect harvest off the block or the growing medium, we switch it outside and we let it go entirely with nature. Just
So is
sitting.
there a difference? Do you notice a difference in either the quality or either the quantity of mushroom based on where it is grown?
It's same thing. They have seasons, so they basically when it's their time, and that's how we learn the seasons. Because when it was their time, all of a sudden, all the blue oysters would come, all the poplars would come. Like they lay dormant even in the block, so they don't come out. It's the same thing as they are around. They will come out only when it's their moment. But when they do start coming out, they come out every week, like every 2 days, every 4 days, however it takes for them to grow. They come out very fast.
That's in the outdoor garden. That's
Outdoor,
what's so
yeah.
cool about the outdoor patch.
Yeah.
The thing is, you get less like harvest. So as a business, you're getting a little less. You can't guarantee that you're going to have pounds of blue oyster or yellow oyster
in August.
yeah, on this day. But when you grow it in the grow room, simply by controlling the amount of light, CO2, and the temperature and choosing the right varieties, that way we know we have enough for the chefs, right?
Does that
So,
also apply, like, can you grow in the winter in the greenhouse
So we
that way so that you have all year round?
We change varieties to winter mushrooms. We have summer mushrooms in summer, winter mushrooms in winter. We try to have as little, we use heat pads when it's really, really cold, and we use a tiny little air conditioner when it's really, really hot. But besides that, we just basically stick to season, and that's how we don't use too much electricity, no heat, no propane.
It
And keep
sounds like the mushrooms are driving the boat, and you guys are there to be patient and give them what they need and facilitate their own organic process.
that's exactly
exactly
right. You know, a lot of growers, what happens is they, you know, you look up the technical specs or, you know, instructions, so to speak, and they say, you know, the temperature 75, humidity 85, CO2 9 or 1200 parts per million, for example, and they will try and get their grow space, their grow room to those parameters and basically lock it in 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Give God all the credit for this. I was sort of like that in the beginning with a meter, reading it, always trying to keep it at those maximum parameters. Again, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But Agathe was absolutely right. Now we let them, you know, when it's cooler, they grow a little slower. They grow a little. So we do as little manipulation as possible. And Agathe was saying, like, for if we really need heating in the winter, she uses these tiny little heat pads that are very small instead of heating a huge space, which is actually almost economically unfeasible.
You can't do
Yeah,
it.
like
You
big.
can't pay the electricity.
Yeah, we've seen growers that, you know, are pumping propane, CO, you know, to heat the huge grow space, and it, you know, they nearly go bankrupt or whatever. They can't. It's not profitable, I should say. But we try to, you know, scale down, and we accept smaller harvests, and we try to, you know, match the
But
season.
also our clients accept that they don't find the same mushroom every time, and that's like the beauty of it. Like the restaurants, like they're happy to find something else, you know. And we forage a lot too. So whatever we find in the woods, they go for. We do a lot of medicine. So we started. For me, it was all sculptural at first. Then of course culinary. And now we're really working on the medicinal properties of mushrooms, and people are coming to us more and more for the medicinal properties. And there's been so many studies since the pandemic. Every week there's something else on the lion's mane, something else on cordyceps, and I think it's been really good for us to be able to learn and to be able to share the
We have
knowledge
a lion's mane tincture, which is become one of our most popular items. But we have tincture, which are essentially extracts, which people take sublingually. Well, some are for your immune system, and they include, you know, reishi, chaga, turkey tail. Gat's got a great new product she's developed, which is our morning brew. I think a lot of people have heard of like mushroom coffee. We don't like to call it coffee, but it's essentially, tell them what's in it.
So the base is chaga, which is like basically looks like a coffee when you grind it up. And then we have a lot of lion's mane, a little bit of cinnamon, turkey tail, and reishi in it just for taste, and cordyceps for vitality. So basically it gives you that humph that you need in the morning.
So is it a non-caffeine based?
No, there's no caffeine. It's all only ground up dried mushrooms that are ground up really thin, and you just use a teaspoon per cup. Or you use a French press. This way you have absolutely no mushroom left over. And we also have our honeys mixed with lion's mane or cordyceps that you can mix in. There's always, you know, a way to ingest the mushrooms without having to eat a whole plate of mushrooms if you don't want to.
Agat's mother makes a lovely mushroom bread and mushroom hummus.
Wait. I want to hear about this mushroom bread. I am not sure I've ever had a mushroom bread.
She makes a sourdough bread with like whole wheat sourdough bread with mushrooms sauteed on top. And we do tours here. So we have tours on Sundays at 1 and 3, but also we do a lot of library tours and, you know, the garden clubs. And she always comes with like these big sheets of bread and mushroom bread and shares it. And it's like the best.
Yeah, the
Well,
cut
how would one go about
library.
getting a loaf of that?
Sorry, I
Sorry
didn't.
again?
I said, how would one go about getting a loaf of that bread? I don't think you brought it to the farmer's market.
We did not.
No, we
Yeah.
don't. You really probably have to
Yep.
come to the farm. We
Okay.
always have it on special tour days. We definitely have it on the North Fork Foodie Tour, the 𝗠𝘁𝘁𝗶𝘁𝗂 Library Tour.
You can
Those
order it.
ladies and men really tore through Agat's mom's mushroom bread. But
You can order it online. You could order it with us.
and we'll certainly make sure you guys get an offer. And if anybody mentions the show, let's just promise we'll get them mushroom bread. How about that?
Woo.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I really want to try the coffee. I want to come and get some coffee. It sounds like you guys have now added chemist to your list of jobs, right? Because you're now figuring out how to use the mushrooms in all these different ways.
That's right.
That's right.
That's
That's
right.
right. Yeah, the mushroom brew. She's been doing it for maybe 2 years, but I don't know. We're not great marketers, but it dawned on us that we should share it, and we immediately sold out. So we're making more, but it's delicious. Yeah, and every it's made in small batches.
Do you have a farm stand where your mushrooms are grown, or do you only sell through the farmer's
No,
market?
no, we're always open. We're here. We live here. We're open. We have a nice, good like place where people can come and look at the product, and then it's really fun. But you have to find us first. It's like the foraging mission. So we're not easy to find.
Yes.
Yeah, drive down
It's
to
funny
any
because
one of
I've driven by since I had the panel with you, Agatha, and I was like, oh, there it is. It's on the side.
all we can say is keep going. When you think you found it and you're like, oh, I can't find it, keep going, follow the artwork, follow the sculptures, follow your instincts. But yes, we are not next to the road like a farm stand. We don't have that kind of authorization, but absolutely we're allowed to sell from the farm, and we love when people come by pretty much any day. Just come on down the driveway. You can Google us, and then when you get close, it is hard to find. But like Agat said, consider it a foraging
It's a
mission,
foraging mission.
and just come on down the long driveway, and you'll find us.
Enter left.
Enter.
I don't want to end the show without talking about your art. Anthony, you mentioned in the beginning you guys started out as artists, and I would say you guys still are artists, just your medium is now mushrooms. Can you talk a little bit about what your art form was earlier, and do you still do that? Is it stone you mentioned?
Well, I'll go first, then I'll let Agat because she's the really more accomplished artist. But yes, my primary medium was stone, and I love doing a stone carving. I don't do it as much as I should anymore, but some of my more recent pieces out here were fountains. I've done some fountains that are really nice. We displayed one at KK's where, with water running and stuff, it's the kind of heads and the water shoots out in every direction. And I've done lots of small sculptures too in stone. But Agat is by far the more renowned artist, and she's working on a series of. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to. I don't work as much as I should. Honestly, it's a secret. But I really want to incorporate the mushrooms in the artwork right now. So I'm just making these tiny sculptures. I always find it's like always found materials. At some point right now, all I have is hay and clay and mushrooms. So that's why
And that's why you're making mushroom paper. That's why you're making mushroom paper, I guess.
That's right. And the mushroom paper and the mushroom ink. And it all will come together as a show. We're doing an event at the Stardine Gallery on August 23rd.
Where is that located? I'm against it. Okay.
And then hopefully also the closing of the Fireplace Projects is the last show coming up on August 9th. So I'll definitely have something in there. Hopefully I'll have a mushroom piece in there.
And you can see a piece of hers at the Longhouse. I think it's on the website now.
Oh, no, it's back here.
It's back here, the piece, but it was at the Longhouse for a
year.
year and a plus.
Wow.
Yeah, which you probably can see pictures of.
But you can come here and see.
And you can come here and see our work.
Yeah.
So after we forage our way to the stand, we can see your art.
Absolutely. We'd love to have you.
Well, I'm going to jump into our NOFO Live 5 really quick before we end. So we always ask the same 5 questions. So if you guys were going to take us out for a meal, breakfast, lunch, or dinner, where would you take us?
We're more lunch people, and I think we go to we go to lunch at Eight Hands or on the beach somewhere. Yeah.
Oh, we could get
Yeah.
8 hands and take it to the beach. I
Yeah.
like that.
Exactly. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, well, but I'm also okay with eating it with the farm vistas where
Yeah.
they have their tables. That sounds great to me too.
That's nice.
Before I jump into the next question, I just want to say South Hole Wayside Market is giving you a shout out because I don't know if you saw their comment, but they use your lion's mane and tinctures in their bone broths.
Oh, thank you.
That's interesting. Yeah, yeah.
Very
It's
nice.
so sweet.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. Well, that's the great. I mean, you guys touched upon it about at the beginning of how many restaurants use what you grow,
Yeah.
and that's one of the beautiful things about the North Fork is the collaborations that just organically come and also continue to grow.
Well, and not only the restaurants, I really popped into my mind when you were talking about the other farm stands, because someone who's not from here would think, oh, well, farm stands are all competing against each other. But you mentioned many that are selling your product, which is
Oh
amazing.
yeah, and it's the best. It's been such a beautiful, beautiful. The best part of it really has been this
Yeah.
community of we're not farmers, and to be accepted among farmers and learn, like everyone has a life, a second life, third life, whatever it is that brought them to the North Fork, and we're one of these people, and it feels really nice to have this community.
Yeah. Everyone on your
Yeah.
list has actually helped us. Little Ram Oysters
Everybody.
refer to tour.
Yeah.
Seps, we sometimes put our mushrooms there. 𝗁𝗁𝗍𝗂, CSA, I mean, Catapano at certain
Everybody.
times.
Yeah.
But you know, really, that's been, I think that's your question 5, but that's probably been
Yeah.
my favorite
Yes.
part.
Well, I mean, I know if somebody watches a few episodes back to back, they'd be like, oh my God, these guys are always talking about community and always talking about community. It sounds like a broken record, but every day we see examples of how we are all touched and living that life, and it's beautiful.
Well, and I will add that the only reason I get up on Friday mornings and get myself all looking like this is because of the community.
Well, I don't bother with the
Like
looking, but okay. Let's talk about, since you're always busy. I'm sure you're always in either in the hoop house or in your property. Do you catch a sunrise or a sunset? What does your routine look like?
Lots of sunsets.
Yeah.
Almost every day and most days I go with her, goes to
The what is
Breakwater.
Breakwater Beach 3, the third
Oh.
the dogs. I don't know. There's a huge tree that landed this year, like the biggest piece of driftwood you've ever seen. It's just that one branch that was broken off, like maybe a 400-year-old tree. I don't know, came from
Wow.
Connecticut probably, but you could sit on it and see the most beautiful sunset.
You can find
I
it
love
out
those
in our
big
dog.
branches.
Yeah, it's
Well,
exactly.
enjoy it while it lasts, because the ever-changing landscape tends to bury giant trees over time. And to me, just watching that disappear is like, wow, I have pictures of what I thought was a full root system, and now it's a tiny little twig, you know?
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cocktail, mocktail, brewery, vineyard, where might we find you enjoying what?
Uh, well, I guess the morning brew, because we don't drink. But Anthony likes a beer, right? You
I like a beer
I
occasionally.
would love a mushroom beer, but I've never had one yet.
The morning brew.
Yeah.
We thought hard about that one. We feel like kind of wimps living near all the vineyards.
Yeah.
But pretty much, yeah, the morning brew.
And we have Macari wine. Whenever we have wine, we have Macari wine.
Yeah.
Because they're such lovely people, and they're across the street.
Yeah.
Is there such a thing as mushroom beer?
I don't know.
We don't
Well,
know.
we're gonna. I guess this might be day one of it.
It's
Kicked
not.
off on the NOFO live show. You heard it here first.
Maybe there's breweries watching,
Yeah.
and maybe it's an experimental thing to try. But you have the mushroom brew, so that could be your thing.
It could
Yeah.
be the base for it, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, the
Mushroom brew like an Irish coffee. You just put a shot in the
on it.
mushroom brew.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I think
Well, one of our other questions is, when you're cooking at home, what farm stands do you generally hit up, and what do you like to get?
KK's, deep fruits, Wowak, the two Wowaks, I love them so much. And I get not the potatoes from Cooper's. They're so good. They're like the best.
Cooper's, deep roots, KK's, they're all just really.
My wowak, I love their string beans and their spinach. And when they just come out of the winter, it's just the best.
Yeah.
And we're
See,
so
this is what Tracy loves, is
Yes.
getting to the where to get the potatoes and where to get the
yeah.
spinach. I never heard of, I thought Cooper's was for tomatoes, but now I'm hearing
Oh
Cooper's
no,
is also for
potatoes.
potatoes.
Yeah, the tomatoes are amazing. I love self-harvesting too, and when we first moved here, I was like, "Come on, let's go and self-harvest." Anthony was like looking at me like I was a crazy person, but now he recognizes that there's a real pleasure, and so Cooper's offers that too.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was excited when you were talking about the second harvest and people can walk in the field and pick. And I'm thinking, I'd like to do that. I'd like to pick, random assortment of mushrooms and put them in a brown paper
Yeah.
bag.
And it's a bit like a treasure hunt. I
Yeah.
gotta say, I was late to appreciate it, but when you see people's reaction, there's something very primal and deep that connects people with picking their own food. Not
Yeah.
all people, but many.
Wait, Tracy, before you go to the last question, I have a question because I know a lot of people forage for mushrooms, right? Is there anything that people should worry about? Like, do you end up with non-edible mushrooms? Like, obviously, you guys have an education,
Yeah.
which is what always worries me about foraging for mushrooms or
Mhm.
anything, because I don't have enough information.
No, you have to know. You can't just do it. In Europe, you go with your little basket. Everyone goes to the pharmacy and they like good, bad, good, bad. As long as you didn't inject it, nothing's gonna happen to you. If you touch the mushroom, you'll be totally fine. But there's a test, but there is some that look like the button white mushroom that are the most dangerous, and actually the only deadly one here looks like a button white mushroom and grows right now. It's an amanita, and it grows overnight, and they kind of push up like this through the earth, and they're called Amanita protecta, and they look like a button mushroom. They're white and pink, and don't touch those.
And we've actually had
Actually,
people
don't
send
touch
us
white
pictures.
mushrooms.
Yeah.
Don't touch white mushrooms.
Yeah, definitely be careful, and you
Yeah.
can always send us a picture, but certainly don't touch or eat them unless you're sure.
Yeah.
But that's very rare. But we actually did have two separate people send us pictures of this.
Like just
Wow.
what
It's
is this?
poisonous.
Yeah, it's really bad.
poisonous.
Yeah.
And that one you said you
The
shouldn't touch
angel of
it?
death also that grows here is also white. So the white mushrooms, be careful. If they're in the tree, like the lion's mane or the coral, those are fine. But you have to know. You could come and we could do a tour together of the woods. September is a better time. Like there's a lot of things growing.
I would love to do that. That
Yeah.
would be so fun.
Yeah,
That would be so fun.
and it's really nice because you really learn your area. Like a tiny bit, around, like a half an acre could have so many different things growing, and you just have to slow down and you like look up, look down, look to the side. They're everywhere, which
And
is
September is also the foodie tour, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so you will be doing a tour of that version of a tour in September for the foodie tour?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. So Tracy, we don't set up our own NOFO Live because I talk about NOFO Live on location. I would love to be in that garden, checking out the mushroom. Maybe we'll try to make sure that we, promote your tour at the foodie tour and also show up so we can experience it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we
Sundays and 1 and 3,
One
we
and
do sign up tours. Usually they're very small, 4 people, maybe 10. And Agathe and I do. Agathe does a wonderful presentation, and we try to show them everything we know. Not all there is to know, but just about everything we know. It's about an hour, and we do it every Sunday at 1 and 3.
And we also got a snail of approval. We're gonna have a party
yes.
for the community. Yeah.
Yeah, the Slow Food Award. How could we forget? Yes.
So that's gonna happen soon also.
Well
That's
deserved. Well deserved.
Congratulations. Yes. All right. So we usually end the show. I know you guys kind of answered this already, but if you want to just summarize why you are so happy about your choice to be a part of the North Fork community.
You say it.
Well, I think we said it again, but we came out here as artists, and that was wonderful. That's our passion. But this community is largely, or a lot of it is really about the farming and the incredible number of, small, diverse farms. And by growing mushrooms, we've really become woven into the local community, and it's been a real blessing. We have a 15-year-old son, and his friends' parents come over and get mushrooms, and it's just made us a really intricate part of this community in a way we could only have hoped for, and we didn't plan for it, but it's been a real blessing and a gift, and we're grateful to you and everybody who's made it possible.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Oh,
Well, thank you. We're grateful that our paths crossed, and
yes.
I mean, for me, Greenport is a hop and a skip away. So I'm really glad that you guys are part of that farmers market every Friday. Correct? You will be there next Friday. Today it is
It's
canceled.
It's
canceled.
canceled today, yep. But you guys, anybody who's needs their mushroom fix should come straight to the farm. But yeah, of course, I'll be back there if you need to, and hopefully I'll see you again.
I also
Uh,
do East Setauket on Fridays, which
Oh,
is the market, and Anthony does the Shelter Island market on Saturdays.
Yeah,
fabulous.
Riverhead in the winter.
Riverhead in the winter. That's our favorite.
I
wow.
love the Riverhead one. Yay.
Yay. Well, hardworking, lot of work. And, thank you for introducing us to so many different kinds of mushroom, and each one is more delicious than the other. And also beautiful to look at. Just the
Yeah.
We did like
visuals.
mushroom TV too,
Yes.
with the little bag with the.
Yeah.
We wanted to show you these.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
And here's some Agathe forage.
This you could find right now in the woods, and these are safe to find. They're reishi, and these are shiitakes that are not local, but they're ours. And now they could. I think if they could, they would grow here.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you can come and pick them yourself if you want.
Yeah,
That
come
would
help
be
us
totally
find them.
my jam. I
I
would
would
totally
love
want to
that.
forage.
I would love that.
But forage with you, not out in the
Come
woods.
harvest with us. Yeah.
NOFO live on location. I hear one coming.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
So
Have a
much,
great weekend,
everybody.
everybody. We'll see you next Friday.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.